right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the KX Country Clubhouse talk from the KX Morning Ride. You can see Melissa no, that's Fuller. Melissa's this way, Fuller's that way. I'm a radio guy. Forgive me. Joining us, multi-award winning Edmonton Oiler nut job, family man extraordinaire, setting the bar really high for the rest of us guys, and all-around righteous dude, Mr. Brett Kissel.
Thank you, Toff. Thank you, Toff, and Fuller and Melissa and everybody. It's great to see Linda and Anna and Tanya and Pam and Michelle, and Jennifer is here. She's from the Kissel crew. Michelle, Virginia, Cheryl. Who else we got? Everybody else is. Charlene is there. Good. And then we have someone called Connecting to Audio, Brenda Craig, and Galaxy Tab. Whoever you are, Galaxy Tab, welcome too. But this is fun. Happy anniversary, KX.
Thanks, BK. And right off the hop, that's what you're all about. You're all about the fans and the listeners. And right away, you're acknowledging everybody here in the clubhouse. Thanks for doing this. 10 years together. I mean, we've had so many great memories. Melissa and I will never forget the first time you walked through the doors at KX 94.7. I said, who in the hell is that?
He's got no talent.
But you know what? As soon as they said your name was Brett Kissel, I immediately had a liking for you. As you know, my son's name is Brett. And it's been an amazing ride to this point. You've been a friend, just a really good all-around guy, a hockey guy that we can have some fun with. But you've been exceptional to our listeners. And thanks for celebrating 10 years together with us, pal.
Toff, thank you for saying that. But yes, I was just a baby. That's before I could grow a beard, before I had kids. I just got married. And I remember coming in, and I'll tell everybody the story. So when I came into the office and into the studio, there's a rule at KX, is that unless you're truly an established artist, we're not just going to throw you right onto the air, because as a rookie in the business, it may make for bad radio, quite frankly. So with that being said, I walked in to the lobby and all I did was sing. All I did was sing for the staff, and I just tried my very best to leave a good impression. And luckily, now you fast forward a decade, I think that impression was a good one, because I say this without any BS, but the best friends that I've got in the whole country and the radio business are truly KX 94.7, and that's no BS. You guys are the best. You guys are my favorites, and I'll love you forever.
Well, look, man, we don't want to take up too much of your time because we want to get the fans involved here. First thing I want to do is congratulate you on another #1 with Make a Life Not a Living. Way to go.
Oh, thank you. You are such a big reason why that song was so successful right out of the gate. But also, that is a song I think in our set list, Toff, that is going to have staying power for the rest of my life. It has such a great message. It's up tempo, it's feel good, and I think it came at the right time. So thank you for that, Toff.
Really interesting, kind of how the whole song came about. Stephen Lee also involved with the writing, but Brett's Blueberry Hill, explain that.
So on our cattle ranch, my Mima and my Grandpa Bear, they have trails and very iconic places on our ranch that essentially are named after all the grandkids. So I've got Brett's Blueberry Hill, there's Matthew's Maze, there's Jameson's Joyride, there's Chrissy's Crocus Hill, and then Grandpa Bear has a giant stop sign that we got for him for Christmas, and it's Grandpa Bear's Wash the Heart Stop. So when you stop in that spot, we've got a Yeti cooler buried in the ground that you open up like a secret hatch, and you can get some hooch from the hatch. And so we've got a lot of great spots. And I was on Brett's Blueberry Hill when Stephen Lee Olson texted me the song Make a Life Not a Living. And I made that promise to him that I would record it, and the rest is history.
You've got one of the coolest grandpas on the planet. Really cool. I think we've got Virginia Hurley here. Virginia, maybe Kat, you can unmute her microphone. I know she's got a question for you here, Brett.
Of course. Hi, Virginia.
I'm just wondering, how's it going to feel when you go back to touring and you're not at home with those beautiful kids and that lovely wife of yours all the time?
It's a great question. And I've been thinking about that a lot. And because of the pandemic, I've been able to put a lot of things into perspective. So the way that I toured before, even though my family came along for most of it, and I've been one of the lucky ones to bring my wife and kids along, but I'm truly shifting my perspective and my focus on the whole thing, this whole system, life in general. So will I go out on tour again? Absolutely. Will I plan my touring around important family moments more than I did before? Absolutely. When I do hit the road again, which is probably going to be in early part of 2022, is my wife and my kids going to be with me? Absolutely. If they can't come with me, I'll plan a time when they can. That way I don't have to be without them.
Cool. That's some of the best stuff, seeing Brett Kissel backstage with a laundry basket. Honestly, it's true.
Yeah. True story. Sanderson Center, Brantford.
Jennifer Zillow, is she in the house? There she is. Kat, can you unmute Jennifer? I think she's got a question for you too.
Hey, Brett.
Jen.
Hey, so you sort of answered the question about how you pick your song. So I'm going to pick a different question. So Garth Brooks has Friends in Low Places, Brooks and Dunn's Boot Scoot and Boogie that everybody likes to cover. So what's the song of yours that you get tagged in a lot that people seem to like to cover?
You know what? It's interesting because the songs that you referenced in Friends in Low Places, as well as Boot Scoot and Boogie, are all these up-tempo jams. And for me, the song that I'm tagged in all the time is I Didn't Fall in Love with Your Hair. And so on social media all the time, if someone is just learning to play piano, or they've been playing piano for 20 years, or if they're learning to play guitar, been playing the guitar for 20 years, everybody sings that song because everyone's been affected by cancer. So I Didn't Fall in Love with Your Hair is a very, very meaningful song for me. And I think for anybody who has heard that song, it resonates in ways that sometimes I can't even express or explain. So that I don't think I've got the banger yet, unless it might be Airwaves. I get tagged in that one a lot. She drives me crazy now quite a bit. But I mean, I Didn't Fall in Love with Your Hair probably 3 to 4 times every day.
Wow.
I'll check a DM or, being tagged in a post. So that's really special for me.
Are you going to do She Drives Me Crazy live?
So I'll let everybody know on the Zoom call. Jen and I have had a friendship that's going on, whatever, 5, 6, 7, 10 years. It could be 20 for all I know. It feels awesome. So Jen is part of my Kissel crew, which is the OG fan base of like 14 of the originals. And Jen came to see me play the drive-in shows in Edmonton, drove out from Ontario. And I know you're driving out again for the Calgary Stampede, which will be the first time.
We're flying this time. We're flying this time.
You're flying. Okay. So for the very first time ever, I'm going to play She Drives Me Crazy live.
Awesome.
Because I've never played it and I can't wait to do it. Thank you, Jen. Can't wait to see you in Cowtown.
Okay, Melissa is back in the house. Welcome back. We're just kind of going through some listener questions here, or viewer questions, I guess. Do we have Linda Denview?
What's your favorite color, Brett?
Oh, my daughters ask me all the time because they think it might change, but it's red. I love the color red. I wear a lot of black, but red is my favorite color. My kids, they change all the time, but I love red.
Good.
We've got Anna Wood here. Kat, maybe you can unmute Anna. She's got a question for BK.
Coming up.
Hi, Brett. It's Stan.
Hi, Anna.
I'm good. I just wanted to ask you, what is one thing that you would tell your younger self about the music business?
Oh, that's a heavy question. That's how much time do you have? Because there are so many lessons that I had to learn the hard way. But if I was to simplify things into 2 distinct messages, number 1 would be saving money. And the reason why I go into the financial side of things is because the Canadian country music business is very special. At times can be very lucrative, but at times can be desolate. And you don't know when the next gig is going to be. So there were many circumstances in my early career where, I was so broke that I would try to manifest another gig thinking that it would come, and sometimes it wouldn't come. So I borrowed so much money from the bank of mom and dad, the bank of grandma and grandpa, and friends and family, so that I could get my career really kicked off. So had I just learned and read a book or listened to a podcast or watched one of the great speakers talk about how to differentiate your paychecks and how to cut that up into a pie. So 10% will go for savings and 15% will go here and 25%. Had I learned that in my early 20s or my late teens, I feel that I would have been able to be in a better position to be set up for success instead of being set up for failure. So saving money was a big thing that I had to learn the hard way, because I was living not just paycheck to paycheck, legit gig to gig. And there were some tough times. I'll just put it that way. The other one is an interesting one because it's very vague, and I think something that everybody would think about is patience. I was very impatient to get the next paycheck, but I had to learn patience again the hard way, that some of the things I really, really wanted that never came my way in terms of opportunities or opening slots or songs on radio, I'm so glad they didn't come to me in my teens, because I wasn't ready for it. I thought I was ready for it then, but I'm glad it happened when I was 24 or when I was 31, instead of squandering an opportunity when I knew I wasn't ready, or I wasn't ready then, but I know about it now. So patience and save that money. That's important.
And stay away from Toff and Melissa.
Now, Toff and Melissa are they've been the best, worst influences on me in some of the early days, but I've paid back Mike and Toff in terms of being a good influence on those characters as we've celebrated some of the key moments in their careers and some of the key moments in my careers too. So it all comes full circle, and I love them very much. And Melissa, I love the guys, but I'll go on record and I'll just say I love you the most.
This is one of the first times I've ever seen her speechless and not have anything to say.
I'm afraid to talk because I'm afraid I'm going to screw up my technology here again.
No, you're good. You're solid now. It's awesome.
All right, I'm on a different device, okay? And here I was telling Pam how to use Zoom, and she's barking up the wrong tree.
Well, Melissa, it ain't your fault. That's the life of technology, and why I am really soaking in this Zoom Clubhouse hangout right now is because it's probably the last one we're going to do in a long, long time, because the next time I'm in Hamilton or Toronto or anywhere in KX listening area, we're going to be doing this face to face. So if we're going to have a Q&A, it's because I'm going to be sitting on a stool with a drink in my hand in front of everybody live. So let's just soak this in, because I don't know if we're going to be doing many of these in the future.
Oh, that's great news, buddy. Look, first off, if anybody else, I know you're on mute, but if you have a question, can you just stick up your hand? Okay, where you go, Cheryl?
Brett, will you, will Mila, Aria, and Leo, will you expect them to follow in your footsteps in the music industry?
I've been asked that quite a bit by family members and friends, and the word that you used was expect. And so I've made a very conscious choice, and so has Cecilia, that we do not want to put any expectations on our kids whatsoever. Whatever it is that they choose to do or want to do is completely supported and encouraged by us. And it literally doesn't matter, because happiness and joy is the most important thing that we really want our kids to have in their lives.
Yeah.
That being said, I can tell already that my daughters are so into music. They sing every Disney song. They sing every song I've ever recorded. They're singing George Strait, God and Country Music, George Strait, Oceanfront Property. They're singing Shania Twain. They're singing all these songs. And I'm trying not to overthink this or project my feelings onto them, but I'm encouraging this like you wouldn't believe, thinking, could you imagine if it was like George
Joey
Morgan
Johnson.
and Lori Morgan, or Mel Tillis and Pam Tillis, or like the Stella, Brad and Mary Lynn, and Lennon and Maisie.
Yeah.
I don't want to put that, I don't want to put pressure on them, but I'm putting that out to the universe that I'll be able to do some duets with my kids sometime.
Yeah. And the other thing I had to ask was, an old neighbor of mine is a very good friend of yours,
Who's your neighbor?
Julie Collis.
Oh, well, the Collis family and my family, yeah, we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah, we grew up together.
Well, pass a big hello to Julie from all the Kissels out on the farm, please.
Well, she's expecting you guys to go out to the island one day.
Well, hey, once travel is less restrictive, and I'm not going to get political. I'm very disappointed that I can't go to the Maritimes. That's the thing. As a Canadian, I feel I can't wait to travel everywhere. So
Yeah.
as soon as every province starts being nice to each other, count me in. The
Yeah.
cross Canadian tour is going to resume.
Yeah. Anyway,
So Brett, you have to have more kids so that we can have like the Kissel Von Trapp family.
Well, I know how kids are made. So if I'm on good behavior, you never know. You never know.
So more kids is not off the table.
No, it's definitely not off the table. We've talked about having more kids because we can't answer this question. Why not? I agree. Whether it be a band or a hockey line, why not go for at least one more?
Plus, you make really cute kids, like the cutest.
Well, Cecilia's to thank for that. That's for sure. I love my kids, and I agree with you. I think they're crazy cute. I know I'm biased, but I love them with all my heart.
Brett, I just want to tell you that when this pandemic hit, I was not big on Instagram, but you were one of the first artists that really came out with the songs, the music online. And then you did this Diesel Bird fundraiser that I spent hours sitting in my kitchen listening and enjoying this. And I just thought that was fantastic, that you were just putting yourself out there and that you were, it was great. I got a t-shirt. I've since destroyed it with chlorine from my pool. But it was I really enjoyed that. And that really got me more into the Instagram and following you and following a lot of other great stars, music personalities. And I'm just curious, how did that fundraiser do? Because I was all for the behind the scene guys. That wasn't for you. And that, again, that's one of the biggest things that with you, the respect level is that you did a ton of things early in the pandemic that you were not rewarded monetarily. It was all for everybody else. And I just think that's amazing. So how did that fundraiser do?
Well, thank you for asking. The fundraiser raised just shy of $100,000, which is great. So when you think about the funds in an era where everybody was very conscious about where they were spending, the best part about it is that, yes, there were some big donors, but we got to $100,000, $5 at a time. And so that just goes to show the reach that we had. And everybody was able to give $5 or $10 or $20. And I'm really grateful that that fundraiser had so many artists. And we all contributed our time and donated our time to connect with everybody. And that is the single greatest thing about social media and Instagram, is that look at what you and I are doing right now. We're truly connecting and having a genuine conversation and building a friendship. We're having a drink together. I'm driving. I'm not drinking, but you are, which is good. So that's all I can say, is that I'm really grateful that social media has given us that opportunity. There's a lot of negatives to social media, and people can air their dirty laundry or voice a lot of concern and frustration. But I've always liked to think about and see the good in social media. And the Diesel Bird Music Fest that was started by Dan Davidson, thanks to him, he was able to rally over 50 artists and raise almost $100,000. That is incredible. And for what it's worth, I was very disappointed that during the Canadian Country Music Awards, he did not win the Festival of the Year. I think it went to another festival in Alberta that didn't even run. They just happened to have the votes, whereas it was the only legitimate online festival. So Dan is very, very high on the good guy list as far as I'm concerned.
Brenda.
Hi there.
Hi, Brenda.
Hi there. I am actually celebrating 19 years being with my husband. This was our first date 19
Awesome.
years ago. And my question is, where did you take your wife on your first date?
Well, the first time that Cece and I ever, I think, really connected was on March 15th, 2008. I was performing at the Bonneville Pro Rodeo Gala. So we were doing a fundraiser to get the chuck wagons into town. And I know that Cecilia and her friend got the last 2 tickets because our family was on the organizing committee. And I had saved 2 tickets for our mutual friend. And that friend brought Cecilia. And when I first saw Cecilia with my own 2 eyes, I had never seen anybody that beautiful in real life that wasn't on TV. I couldn't believe it. It to me was love at first sight. And I told my band that. And I was 17 and they were rolling their eyes like, you know, come on, dude, like, you know, get it together, take your jaw off the floor. But halfway through and I was doing a dance. So it wasn't like a headline set. I was the rodeo dance kind of thing. So I played the first set. And then in the second set, I played a song called Peaceful Easy Feeling by the Eagles. And I looked at the band and said, you guys keep playing. I put my guitar on the stand. I jumped off the front of the stage. I walked straight to her gala table. I asked if she would dance with me, and she did, which was a risk for me and a risk for her, because if she turned me down, I would have looked like a schmuck. But she said yes. And I looked like a hero in front of 500 people, the most beautiful girl on planet Earth. And of course, in the room, we danced. And I kept looking at my band members like, guys, keep playing, keep playing, keep playing. So they did. And Peaceful Easy Feeling, which is a 3-minute song, turned out to be a 7-minute song that night. We danced, we talked. I followed her on Facebook, and we just became great friends. And I don't even know when we started dating, but in 2009, 2 years later, I asked if she would marry me, 19 years old. And here we are 10 years later.
Very cool.
So congratulations, Brenda, on 19 years with you and your other half. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome. Great question, Brenda. We've got Charlene next.
Hi, Charlene.
Hello, Brett. How are you?
Great, thank you. It's so great to see you again. I hope you're doing well too.
I am. I'm sure you remember me every time you see me. You always say I'm
Very
the nicest
well.
lady to your kids. Great to
Because
see
you
you.
are.
I
Yes,
hope
thank you.
everybody's been well.
Yeah, we've all been well. I mean, the best part about it is that we all see light at the end of the tunnel. There's a lot of sunshine in Alberta. Live music is back. Our family's healthy. Like we're doing great. We really are. Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, during this pandemic time while you weren't performing, did it give you a really deeper reflection with family and friends, and just kind of really connected you more with everything going on like around you, with being at home and watching your kids grow and so forth?
Absolutely. And I want to say this with the utmost respect and to be very conscious about how this may sound, but I just want to speak from the heart. I saw COVID, and I chose to see COVID this way, as somewhat of a gift, because I was running 1,000,000 miles a minute and I was going crazy, crazy, crazy. And I know what COVID represented. I know the hardships that it brought to every family across Canada. However, the silver lining that I chose to view this from was the time that I got to spend with my family. And it wasn't just time, it was quality time. It was face-to-face time. It was an unbreakable bond that I now have with my 2 daughters and my little boy and my beautiful wife. And our relationship has never been better. We've never been more in love. And I'm grateful that one of the most dark times in our world's history actually gave us the opportunity to connect, and a lot of positives came out of it. So I'm grateful for it. And that's how I choose to look and kind of flip the coin and flip the script on something that was so challenging. So thank you. Great question.
And we've all seen that in our own families. We've seen the worst, but we've also seen the best, how people have come together to look after one another in the hardest times.
Absolutely. And that's what happens in the universe when you're faced with something so challenging. Resiliency and perseverance and drive, determination, love, and unity will come out of these dark times. So, you know what, I feel very, very grateful that even you and I getting a chance to connect on that level and talk about it in that way is something that maybe we never would have done before, because things would have been on the surface and we would have just talked about, is your family great? Yep, my family's great. Your family's great. See you later. See you on stage. Whereas now we actually get a chance to take a deeper dive into true relationship and connection. And that's why this Clubhouse concept, you know, by KX, the 10 years that KX has had, the friendship that I've got with Toff and Melissa and Fuller, and the list goes on, I have to say, with them in particular, I'm a lot more connected to them because Toff actually came out to Regina, Saskatchewan with his son Brett to come and see me play these historic drive-in shows. And I mean, I don't know if Toff would have ever come out to Regina to come and see me play, because I would have been in the market and we would have had a beer and we would have done the things that we've always done. But we were able to connect in a deeper way, and it's a show I'll never forget. So I think we're all feeling that. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I assume that we're all feeling a lot of the similarities there.
I've been on the front lines for a year and a half.
Yeah,
and
of
just
course.
take a day here and a day there and get a reflection on everything. So yeah, I get it. I really do. Anyway, thank you. And it was great to see you again.
Yeah, great to see you too, Charlene. Thank you.
Thanks. Hey,
Hi,
Brett. How are
Michelle.
you?
I'm awesome. Thank you. How are you today?
Good, thank you. So my question for you is, what song is most memorable to you from your childhood and why?
Oh, wow. What a great question. There obviously there's many. I think about all of the Johnny Cash records that I heard listening with my grandparents, and how I truly felt that I was the little kid in a song called the Tennessee Flat Top Box. And if you recognize those lyrics, you know, South Texas border town, sat a boy and his guitar, and the people came from all around, and all the girls from there to Austin. And I felt that that was like my own little song. So that was a very memorable song for me as a kid. But I also remember hearing Callin' Baton Rouge for the very first time by Garth Brooks on my Discman. I got a Discman for my birthday, and the production on that CD, Garth Brooks, The Hits, that song changed my life. And then getting a chance to then play that song in Hamilton with Garth was something that was unbelievable, that I felt like, I guess I've been manifesting since I was, you know, 12 years old and I first got that CD. And then there's other very, very special songs that, you know, really remind me of my upbringing, of my dad. Desperado by the Eagles. He always loved that song. So there's many songs from my childhood that I don't even think about now until they cross my playlist on Apple Music, or I'm listening on the radio and Toff and Melissa will play a throwback to the Cadillac Ranch by Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. And I remember going to Oil City Roadhouse at 18 years old with my wife, Cecilia, doing the Cadillac Ranch on a Tuesday night and having to wake up early with a hangover and go to work the next day. I mean, there's a lot of great memories here. So every song has a special place.
And you always say that Cecilia takes the looks, but Leo is your double. So you get credit for him for sure.
I'm gonna post a photo of me at 2.5 and Leo at 2.5 here, probably in a couple of days. And yes, we're pretty much identical with the curly little blonde hair, mischievous grin. I love that little boy with all my heart.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thanks, Michelle. I think we gotta get going. It looks like gas is spilling out the side of your truck. I have to stop, Brett. We could go on for forever, but we want to let you get out of here. I will just ask you, maybe, we're really excited. We're hearing that you're coming out this way. Can you tell us briefly a bit about the Endless Summer series with you and Jess and Tebe and the gang?
So the Endless Summer series, I think, is the most unique concept that Boots and Hearts could have ever put together, especially during such an awkward time where a lot of people aren't sure about the rules, or what are we going to do, or how is this going to work? It takes courage and bravery for an organization like Boots and Hearts to say, we're going to lead the charge. We're going to talk to whoever we need to talk to make sure that this is fun, amazing, memorable, and we can get back at it. So when they reached out to me months and months and months ago, first they asked if I was comfortable. And I said, absolutely. Then they said, are you interested? I said, absolutely. They said, well, are you available in August? I said, well, let me check my calendar. Yep, I'm available. And so I've been holding this secret in for too long. Now that it's out, the pre-sales have gone so well. I don't want to quote, but I heard that it was over 3/4 sold on pre-sale, and the real sales actually start tomorrow. So I think this is going to be one of those Garth Brooks scenarios where Ticketmaster is going to shut down for the Endless Summer Concert Series. Jess Moskaluk, Corey Marks, David Boyd James, Taybay, myself, the Emerging Artist Showcase. I mean, this is a real great taste of what Boots and Hearts is to a smaller crowd, but even though it may be smaller, Toff, I guarantee you it will be a mighty crowd. So we're going to see on August 6th and 7th.
Beauty. Okay, Brent, on behalf of all of us at KX 94.7, all of our fans, our listeners specifically here tonight, thank you for doing this. Thanks for celebrating 10 years together with us too. We really, really appreciate it. Can't wait to see you.
And here's to another 10 more, and then your 25th, and then your 35th, and then your 40th, and your 50th, and I'm going to be right there with you all the way. So I truly do love, respect, and admire what you've done to win the awards that you've won, both locally in the province and at the CCMAs in only 10 years, guys. KX 94.7 is truly one of the best stations in the history of country music, and you've done all that in 10 years. It's because you've got a great team. So congratulations.
Great artists like yourself. So I think we should let you get rolling on to Calgary Stampede, my friend. Try not to have too much fun. Do some line dance, AC/DC or something like that.
Yeah, too late. I'm already going to have so much fun, but I'll recover in time for Endless Summer. That I can assure you.
Okay, everyone.
Hey, Brett.
Well,
yes.
Thanks for joining us on the Zoom, everybody. On behalf of Melissa, I see Linda's checked in here, Mike Fuller, and Kat's in the background making this all possible. Thank you all. And we're just getting started. The big weekend coming up in August. We'll be celebrating 10 years together with the top 100 songs of the last 10 years. Don't miss it. Thanks, BK.
And great hat, Melissa. You're looking good.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you.
That was awesome.